Good morning, everyone. It's Anna here from Journeys. I hope that you have had a really great weekend. I'm here to talk to you about our next Journeys gem, which is this time we are we're second week of a 4-week series on authenticity. So last week, you can go back and check the videos and check out last week's video on authenticity. So we looked at really briefly what the definition of authenticity is in relation to the research that Brene discovered when she's been interviewing people. And so you can have a look at that, the authenticity definition I talked about in the last video. But in the video today, I want to talk about one of the gifts of imperfection that Brene talks about, which is courage. So courage is an interesting thing. If you watched any of the videos from the vulnerability 4-week series that I just did as well, you'll know that when we talk about vulnerability, it's actually courage. So people think that vulnerability is weakness, and sometimes it feels like that. But the research actually shows that when people are vulnerable, part of that vulnerability is lots and lots of courage, that it's actually a courageous act to be vulnerable and to share honestly and openly about what's going on in our life. So as we look at authenticity and being, I guess the way I look at authenticity is being the person who you truly are. And so often many of us are living in a way where we're being who we think we're supposed to be, as opposed to embracing who we truly are. So one way of embracing our authenticity is to practice courage. So courage is a really interesting word. In the original Latin, it comes from the Latin word cur, which means heart. And the original meaning was to tell the story of who you are with your whole heart. So that definition of courage being to tell the story of who you are with your whole heart. And I love that. I really, really love that definition, because when we think about courage, and it's a really courageous act to show people who we are. To be our true selves shows people our heart. And so as we're living a life that tells the story of who we are, when we're doing that, it's really courageous, number one, because we're allowing people to see who we truly are. Number two, it's about actually opening up our heart in order to do that. So courage, to tell the story of who you are with your whole heart. And so Brene talks a lot about how, courage, living authentically is about ordinary courage. It's about taking small steps of courage every single day to stay true to who you are. She says in her book, I think asking for what you need is one of the bravest things you'll ever do. So again, part of being courageous is asking for what you need. If you think about being your true self, what is it that you really need in order to be that person? What boundaries do you need to set? What do you need to ask for in order for you to be the best person that you can be? For example, for me, one thing that I learned in my burnout recovery is how important sleep is. And so I know that I need between 8 and 10 hours of sleep every night to function to my best. So if I'm having night after night after night after night out, and it's late nights at like going to bed at 10, 11 o'clock and getting up at, 6, it's a real struggle for me. I kind of need to be in bed between 9 and 10 in order to get the best rest that I need to function at my best. So one of the ways that I live in my authenticity is by asking for what I need around that. And so in my case, it kind of means saying no to things during the week. So I know that I can be out about 3 nights every week and I'll be able to still function to my best. When I find that I've accidentally, filled my calendar too full and I'm suddenly out 5 nights that week, I get really, really tired and really drained very quickly. And so that's one example of me living courageously, is asking for what I need and setting those boundaries. So I'm going to leave it there. So have a think about that idea of courage, to tell the story of who you are with your whole heart. And that's when we do that, that's part of living in our true, authentic self. I hope you have a great week, everyone, and I will see you next week. Bye.